Hello everybody, today I want to tell you about strings and characters. Well, exactly I want to focus on the pointer that points on the character type. And before we do something like that, let's remind what are strings and other things like that. Well, I want to create a string, so I type string, then the name of our string, so for example text, and then I can assign here some characters. So for example, tra la 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 la, right? So I'm singing here. Okay, and now how to get the that characters here? Well, we can do, for example, a loop like that. When I is lower than text dot length. That length will return here. It is a function to return the length of that guy here. So it is, let's make it a bit shorter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, the truth is that it is 6 character long. There is one more character. I will talk about it later. But right now, you should know that the length function will return here how many characters are in the string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many visible one, okay? Of course, there is one more character, and we'll talk about it later. Now the I++, because we have to increase the I, so the condition will be finally, not true someday, and then let's send to the output the text of I and then end line. And as you can see, we can send each letter to the output. So it means that that string is really an array of characters, right? One character, second character, third, fourth, fifth character, right? Okay. Of course, because that are characters, we can assign single character to the variable that type is char, right? So character, and now, for example, something like that. We can do that easy, and we can send it to the output. Let's build and run that, and as you can see, everything is working fine. There is a T at the end here. It's okay. Okay, let's comment that guys here because we won't need them. I told you that this guy is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters of length here, right? And why? Because this is saved like that. T, R, A, L, A, and then there is something which is called the \0. Because when we want to send to the output a string, so the sequence of character, we are sending everything to the output until we meet that guy here, the that \0, the 0 character, right? And then it just stops sending to the output thing. So it's really important to have something like that. Okay. Now, how to, we are right now programming in C++. Before, when there wasn't C++, so there wasn't something like a string, there were only characters. Then we had to store characters in the array of characters. Well, this is an array of characters here, right? As you have noticed here. So, but it is hidden inside the string a bit. Well, let's see how it's hidden. Well, first, I can do something like that. For example, characters, and then I will give here the size of 5, and now I can assign here 5 characters. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Well, no, this is 5 characters, because we need to remember that the 5th guy need to be the \0, right? Okay. So now we can send to the output characters. Sorry. And as you can see, everything works fine. So that's how people start strings. But there are many problems that will be soon shown here. What if I want to change now that guy to, for example, something like that? This is a bit longer than this, right? And I want to send it to the output. As you can see here, we are being said that I want to assign 25 characters to the place where we can start only 5 of them. We can do that. Here, I can do it easy. Let's see. As if you can see, everything works fine. Because behind there is a program that is doing it by us. Well, we are programming in C++, so we shouldn't worry about the characters here and doing the things like that. But, you might want to look into libraries from C, and then you would not understand what is in there. So that's why we have to now focus on how to do that, how to do things like that with just characters like here. Well, firstly, we don't need to here type the 5. Our compiler is so intelligent that when he see that I want to send here something like that, the sequence of character, he will give here the right size for that array. Okay, so that's okay. And now from lessons from the previous lessons that this guy here, characters, is really a pointer, right? It's a pointer. Characters. So it means that this guy is really pointing at the beginning to that guy here, to the first letter. Okay. So we can send the output that thing that way, the first character, or we can send it to the output that way. Does everything okay? As you can see, both times we got 1, 1 here. And if I want to have the next letter, I can just do it, for example, that way. It also means that I can do something like that. Character, and now let's create a pointer that will point to the address that is pointed by that guy here. So to the first letter here. And then I can do something like that again, for example. But now I can do that with P, and everything should work fine. As you can see, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2. So that guy will do the same things like that. And now it might be like how to transfer that guy here from string to characters. How to do that? Is it possible? Let's see. Can I do something like that? Characters, something like text2 equals that way, that text here. Can I do that? As you can see, we can do something like that. Because here we have an arrow that says us initializer, so that guy here, face, so he is not able to do that, to determine size of text2. So he doesn't know how much of that thing he put here, right? And when I put something here, it says that it's invalid initializer. It's because the text is string, and we want to assign string, so a different type, to characters, well, to array of characters, and we can do something like that. Well, but let's try to do it this time that way. And what will happen now? Now we are being said that we cannot convert the string to the character asterisk, so to the pointer to characters. But in string, there is a method that allows us to do something like change the string here to that type here. So this thing will return us the pointer to the first letter here. Let's see. As you can see, still we can't do that because it is returning the constant. So it's returning it that way that we can't change later letters in by using that pointer. Let's check it out. If we can at least send to the output values. Well, let's comment the guys here because we don't need them now. So I want to send to the output that this is a test, something like that. As you can see, this is a test and everything works fine. So now we know how to change string to characters. Okay, how to do that the other way? So I have, for example, the array of some elements, and here is text. And now can I do something like string test, and can I send here array and now send to the output test? As you can see, this way everything works fine. So there aren't so many problems like to the library of C if you want to do something like that. Okay. Now I'd like to tell you about something what might be a bit weird for you, because we can do something like character and then, for example, a equals this is a test. So let's make it different test. So now we can send easily to the output A. As you can see, this is a test and this big number here. But we can't change values here. We can't do something like that. It's not possible. It won't work because our program will stop working. And why it's happening like that? Because this guy here is being created when we are compiling the program as a static string. It means that it has a word constant, right? So it means that we can't change values. Okay. And here we have just an in that a point. Well, we have an address to the first letter here, but this letter cannot be changed. So we can send to the output all that values easy, but we can't change the values here. Okay, so in order to prevent errors, we should add here constant. We don't need to, but we should add here something like that. And then we won't do something like by mistake, because our compiler will tell us, hey, you can do that. Okay. But it's very confusing because, we can do something like that easy. This is a test. And then, oh, sorry, the brackets are here. Brackets. And I can send to the output beam. But I also can do something like beam and then change the value, for example, the first to the G. I can do that. And you might be now like, but why? You know, our compiler is thinking like that. When he sees that guy here, he is reserving the space for a pointer. And then he is assigning to the value of a pointer, is assigning the first address of that sequence of characters. When he sees something like that, he is reserving space in memory for so many letters like here, so he's counting them, and then he's assigning to all of that reserved space in memory that letters. So that's a bit different here, right? This is somewhere in our space, we don't know exactly where but it is pointed by that guy and it is constant. But this guy is not a constant guy. Okay? We can also do something like that. Character, and then we can, for example, create now the dynamic array, for example, like that. And now here equals and new character, and we need, for example, 50 of characters. Now I will delete at the end of the program reserved space just in case I do not remember about it later. So now it's done instantly. Okay, and I can easily assign here or send it to the output first. Let's see what's there. So we're sending it to the output. As you can see, here are random characters because, of course, that guys here are reserved dynamically here, right? So we have to assign here something. We can do it that way, for example, la la la, and everything will work fine. But we should notice one thing. After assigning to that guy here that static value here, because it's a static guy, so it's constant, this is constant value, we can't change values inside like that anymore. As you can see, it's not working. But look, before that, we can do it easy. This is working. But it's because we changed it here. And we also made a big error by doing that line here. Because we, after that, are not able to delete that space here that was just dynamically reserved. So be careful on doing something like that. We can't do things like that. We should add here also a word constant. So by mistake, we do not change here the address that we are pointing to. Okay? So now everything works fine. We should also somewhere end this, for example, with the \0. Well, as you can see, in the C, that was a bit harder to create characters. You can just use string, so don't worry. I'd also tell you that when you create an array of strings, so for example string, array of strings, and now for example 5 of them, I can assign to all of the strings, so to all the sequence here, some text. This is a text that will be in all of the elements of strings. And now I can send to the output something like that. As you can see, now all strings are like that. Of course, I can change here easy that guys to other guys, and we don't have to worry about memory like I told you before. But I told you all about the things here because really it might happen in the future that you want to read something from the C library because still some people need to use them, or you need to write something in C. Then that information here should be really useful for you. Okay, that's all in the lesson. Thank you very much.